I I just decided last minute that I'm putting astrology signs.
Not the moons and stars of it all. I love this.
When she spoon and like a BB moment, which is like a beautiful black moment. Did we get any of those in this episode?
Black.
We have a chaotic vibe moment of the
Chaotic vibe moment. And you're watching Black by Reality.
Black by Baddies.
And those who love us.
Hello, you are watching and are listening to the Black by Reality podcast, a place for Black by Baddies and those who love us and reality TV. We are continuing our recap of Love is Blind UK. I am your host, Nicole Weaver, an entertainment reporter currently writing for Collider, and also the host of this very podcast. And I am once again joined by my Love is Blind co-host, Quita Tinsley. Hi, Quita.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, these couples are still in Greece and then they get out of Greece, and like so many things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling about this cast and season so far now that we're at the midway point?
I think they did really well with casting. Like, I really do enjoy the fact that, like, I mentioned it last time, but like, I really do enjoy that these people are like mostly 30 plus. I think there's just like a different level of just like, I don't know, adulting happening. I don't know, but like,
Absolutely.
you know, like I really like the cast for the most part. You know, there's a couple people that I'm like, I don't know why you're here, aka Sam. But you know, I'm really liking the cast. And also,
I will say, just right off top, I think Love is Blind UK is so like familiar, obviously, with the original formula, and kind of thinks you're going there and then kind of like zigs and zags. I feel like there's so much subversion. I think usually when we're watching like a US season, you walk away and you're like, this person's a bad person. And maybe there's like maybe some people will still say that, but generally I think most of these people are trying their best and have good intentions, and then it's just humans being complicated.
Right.
Yeah. So let's get into this. Now, I just decided last minute that I'm putting astrology signs.
Not the moons and stars of it all. I love this.
Exactly, right? Okay. Now, I will say that most of these are just from a subreddit. But I'm trusting. I'm trusting because some of these, when we get into it, makes a lot of sense. So.
I mean, off the rip, Nicole being a Libra actually makes complete sense.
Yo, this is the year of Nicole Libras on reality TV, because it's her and Nicole on Love Island USA is a Libra.
Oh.
Yes, I talked to her about that in my interview for Collider. So it's very interesting, and I think her being caught up between these decisions and being very, I'm hoping for the best as a Nicole Libra.
Like,
I would also probably have to see the wrong path in order to be like, yeah, this path is right. I had to make both decisions to feel them out, and now I have settled in.
Just, you know, try both just for balance, and now we know the path.
Exactly. Now we pick up in this drop with Nicole meeting Benaiah for the first time at the shop. Benaiah, we don't know. He's either a Gemini or a Cancer. I want to say Gemini though, just because Jordan's a Gemini and we're super compatible.
I love this. I also wouldn't be surprised because he's like so like earthy, like works different jobs, you know, like, but then also he seems so chill, but then when he be ready to pop off.
The Cancer, if he is a Cancer, he's also, I think he's so warm and welcoming and so empathetic, which can be very much a Cancer, but Cancer is also the crab. And that crab, baby, that crab was coming out when Sam was mentioned. But first, what did you think of their first meeting?
They had such an immediate sweetness with each other. Like, the moment he walks in, like, she just immediately gravitated towards him, and, like, he could have automatically been, like, standoffish because this woman literally dumped him and got engaged to another man, but he was
Mhm.
just, like he received her, and, like, they were just, like, instantly so sweet with each other.
See what happens when you don't have ego and pride?
Wow,
There's
call me out as an Aquarius.
right? But it's so true, and I think ego and pride is also such a big part of, like, how, people navigate Love is Blind sometimes, and
Mhm.
also how people watch it of like, "Oh, I wouldn't wanna be embarrassed like that." It's all about being embarrassed, and I
Mhm.
love that Benaiah has the compassion of, like, first of all, Nicole made a questionable decision, but he's so much more focused that Sam is the one who absolutely was misleading Nicole, because it's not like he was saying anything about possibly her weight in front of her. It's not making the weird comment of like, oh, other people might say something, but she's attractive to me. But I was like,
Right.
nah, that was a two-faced, and I'll fight him at any moment.
Period. He said, "I wanna protect Nicole from Sam." I'm like, "I love
Exactly. The
this."
kind of energy I am so happy because let's be honest, Nicole needs protection from herself and
She does. She doesn't have the best discernment. Like, she does not have the best discernment at all.
like I do want to be like gentle. I do think she has a good head on her shoulders. Everything else that comes out of her mouth is so sensible and 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 good. Like she's such an intelligent woman and has experienced things with her marriage. It's just it's still that cup half full.
Mhm. Having
And
way too much faith and, like, seeing the good in people, and it's like, yes, we are all capable of good, but some people do not have good intentions.
mm-mm, they sure don't. And but at least Benaiah's there. Now she said she thought Benaiah would be a Bob Marley. She thought Benaiah was black.
Right, I was like, "Girl, what?"
Is it black or just the locks? Because she said
Maybe it was
locks.
locks. Maybe that's what she was insinuating. Because 'cause I'm just like,
And I don't remember if he confirmed or not when she said that he had it. I remember him laughing. So
yeah.
I don't know how far this went. But I've also seen people online. They're like, yeah, black people, we can tell each other by our voices. But a lot of people are like, I would have been confused by Nicole.
I mean, sometimes you can tell and sometimes you can't. And honestly, with them being in the UK, their accents just being different,
Mhm.
I'm just like, I don't know. Like,
Nah, nah. Well, I watch enough that I'm like Ollie and Demi when Ollie was like, sounds like you come from my neck of the woods.
yeah, okay. Yeah, Ollie for sure. Like,
For sure.
yes.
So yeah, I love this. She apologized to him.
Mhm.
At some point he was like, "Please stop apologizing. You don't need to apologize." And then they take a moment. She's like, "I don't know. I don't know what else to say." And he's like, and I like that he's like, no, Nicole was not just, oh, I'm going to pick Sam over Benaiah. She made that decision based on him having cold feet
Yeah,
about getting married, which is the whole point of this experience.
exactly.
So he was like, I didn't give you the reassurance you needed or the
Mhm.
commitment. So I need you to get your short self up on those feet right now. And she said,
Yeah. Wow. I mean, wow.
wow.
I love love. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, I love it so much. So I am so happy. Now, I I was shook when these two popped up.
Yeah, in Greece. I was like, okay, Love is Blind UK. Like, we still get flued out. But then also, I was like, what is the timing of all of this that they still had enough time to
Mhm.
like meet, get engaged, and then fly out to Greece?
Yes, especially that later on Sam's talking about she was trying to do this and that. So it's like, did we last a day, a night?
Right, literally. Was it
2
like
days?
a night she called production, like, and was like, "Nah, shawty, last night wasn't it."
Nah, nah. So I don't know, but I'm so glad that they got there and everyone was so happy. They were all like, I just hope Sam is treating her right. Like they were worried about our girl.
Right. They were, and just like the way I think, I'm like all of my thoughts about Benaya's career or lifestyle aside, the way that everyone received both of them, I'm like,
Mhm.
clearly they are such good people. And like
Mm.
the men and the women both genuinely loved these two people individually and were so happy to see them together, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I think that is like really important. Like,
Mhm.
I'm just like you named, like these people just seem to be like really good people. Like,
Yes.
people were like, Nicole, oh my God, I love you. I missed you. Like it was just so sweet how everyone was so excited to see them there.
Absolutely. I would not be surprised if they were all like gossiping about who they thought would be with the other person. And I'm
Mhm.
sure all of them were like, I can't believe Nicole and
Right.
Benaiah didn't get together or something.
Right.
Because they give that vibe. I feel like it's an air sign vibe, but he still could be a Cancer. I don't know. Benaiah meets her parents. I
Mhm.
have like no notes from this. It went smoothly, right?
Yeah. And they just seemed, I don't know, like they're just so cute. And their
Mhm.
families seem to both respectively just like the other partner?
Yeah.
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 And oh my goodness, it was so interesting when Nicole met his mom and sister. So the mom, oh my God, Benaiah was at home. He was at home crying, throwing up his mama. Ooh, I cannot imagine cuz being a parent and watching your kid go through a freaking tough breakup. She broke down in tears. She was like he
Yeah.
wasn't eating.
Yeah.
Like and Nicole was just very she was like I take ownership of that, of hurting his feelings. Like it was a very confusing situation.
Yeah.
Nicole, this is one thing. This is one thing I think Nicole's not doing great about recovering from all of this. She says over and over again, I just want to move on. I just want to move on.
Oh, yeah.
And I get it. In some ways, in past seasons of Love is Blind, I have absolutely been like, you are ruining your relationship talking about this outside person. But I see Benaya's really struggling with Nicole not wanting to hold any space or validate his experience of Sam.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I think sometimes it was like I think kind of hurt. I don't know. I can't speak for him, but it seemed like he was being a little hurt that she was like, "What we had is over." Da da da. But he was just like, "This man. Like I had to spend time with this man for 2 weeks. We find out the pods are 2 weeks, so."
Right.
And he was saying
Right.
awful things, but the mom loves Nicole. The sister loves Nicole. The sister was like, I feel like I already know you. I was like, girl, you're not doing any vetting, but okay.
None. Neither. I mean, I liked that the mom named though, like how heartbroken Benaiah was, about it, but also still gave Nicole a chance because she could
Mhm,
have came in there being like, "I don't like you. You broke my son's heart, and I don't know why you think you can come back in here and just get back
mhm,
with him." But she was just honest, but then was
mhm.
still open and like, I think that because Nicole wasn't super defensive about it,
Yeah.
and was apologetic. It made it easier for his family to be like, we support this. Yeah, she does really want to move on. And she seems really committed to seeing the good in Sam. And I find that alarming.
It's a little alarming, but again, she wasn't given like concrete anything. I wonder if she ever knows like what the heck Sam was saying. Like I feel like it was already so hard for Benaiah to just voice, I am worried about this situation. I can't imagine he did say or repeat any of the nasty
Yeah.
things Sam was saying. But you know what? At the end of the day, she watched it, Met. She watched that
Right.
show.
And I
So
mean, the fact that Jasmine had the same concerns and but had the same concerns, and even Nicole herself was like naming, like, you're saying all the right things. I just don't know if it's too good. I'm just like, okay, you might not have all the details on this side, but you have your own gut, and you have someone else here's who's confirming. And the fact that you keep coming to the like conclusion that, like, I don't know, I think he's a good guy. Like, okay, so she's like, I'm not gonna budge on this. We need to just move on. Like, and I do think a part of it is Benaiah does need to, like, just let it go, because she seems to genuinely, she is not going to say a bad thing about Sam right now.
we'll
Or like
see.
right now.
By the reunion, we'll
She might
see.
change her mind about all of this.
Maybe. Now Sam's a Sagittarius.
That checks out. No
Yeah.
offense to all my Saggies that I love, but that checks out.
Fire. So Sam does pop up later when they have the outing of the whole cast coming together. This was wild. So even before this though, which I think was also I actually hurt for Benaiah. I cannot skip that. Nicole tells Benaiah, I want to give Sam this bracelet and the ring.
His ring back, yeah.
Benaiah's like, this is the turn that Benaiah's like, I don't think that's necessary. Like, can we not? And I was like, he got red in the face, like he teared up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if Jordan teared up at the prospect of me, I'll be like, never mind, baby. I'm so sorry. No. I don't even know that person anymore. I forgot their name.
I'll mail it or give it to production to give it to him. I don't know.
I was like, oh my God. Like, he cares about her so much.
Yeah. And I think I don't know if it was, he said it at that point, but he was like, the fact that he can just like say the same things to you and you just are like, oh, Sam's a good guy, it's like, girl,
Yeah. So she, I guess, still takes that stuff. He's like, you do whatever you want.
Right.
Just a little worried. So they had the outing. Sam comes. Oh my God. I love Benaiah stood on business. He was talking a lot, but he stood on business when Sam came up and he's like, oh, I want to talk to you later on. He's like,
yeah.
You could tell Sam was shook by that. Sam was like, why would you not want to talk to me? I almost took your girl.
Very big fire sign energy. Like, what do you mean?
Important. I'm so valuable in your relationship. What are you talking about?
Right.
And yeah, I think air signs, we actually can give it back with fire signs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Benaiah is a Gemini, because that was, the way he was like,
he's like,
no. Well, I don't know. I don't think so,
No.
And also, but then Sam is immediate, like, what has Nicole been saying about me? And I'm like, so you were in the men's quarters and you weren't picking up on the fact that Benaiah didn't like you?
No, because Benaiah's quiet. But not, I think Benaiah did this right. Because, like, that's like me. Like, if I'm not vibing with you, but I'm not going to go out of my way, I'm going to be like, I'm going to pay attention to what I'm doing. Like Benaiah literally warned Nicole in the pods, came back from the pods. Sam asked him, how was it? And he said, fine. Didn't try to give him no warning or nothing. And then Sam was scared. He's like, what do you mean it went well? And it's like, that's that mind game. Because us, we're not, I don't think people, it took me a while to realize that the air signs are actually like very much about knowledge. an intellect. Maybe that sometimes means mind games, but maybe you deserve that.
Yeah, it just means being strategic with your words and your actions, you know?
Yes. Be careful. So Nicole, she returns the bracelet, she returns the necklace. Now, did Sam bring up the whole physical intimacy like right then? That was her first lesson in him.
I didn't like that immediately because I was like, you're trying to put on for the camera. It's like
Mhm,
you're feeling hurt that
mhm,
she ended this. You're feeling hurt that she's giving you your ring and your bracelet back. And you're trying to like humble her or like
mhm.
shame her because she tried to get physical with you. And you feel the need to say that right
If
now.
that's even true, I don't know.
I mean, she didn't
Like, what is
deny
that?
it,
She
you
didn't
know.
deny it. She doesn't have any shame because why would she? She
Why would
does
she? We're
yoga
grown.
naked. Like,
We're grown and y'all were engaged. Like,
yeah, like
she
that's
is not the only person who made a move on her like fiance that night. Like,
yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's a weirdo. He's a weirdo and disrespectful, but she was just like, "Oh, so you're going to show yourself? Okay, do you?" And then it was so awkward cuz like I feel like the producers really worked hard just to get this scene cuz I would not be
right.
surprised if Benaiah's like, "I really don't need to talk to him. I really don't."
Exactly.
But they're like, please, please.
Right.
So they're like in the backyard. Like no one else has a conversation here.
Right.
None of the
Yeah.
other cast members were there.
Literally.
And then Sam wants to talk about, well, she tried to be with me. The way Benaiah laughed. He laughed in his
Right.
face.
And Sam is like, oh, you're just gonna laugh at me
Yes.
when I'm trying to tell you? Yes.
Yes. Because you are so transparent and sad. And I love Benaiah. I love him.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Because Benaiah saw it for what it was, trying to disrespect Nicole.
Hmm.
Trying to be like, oh, she's with you, but did she tell you this? And it's like, why would Nicole tell him that when they weren't together at that point?
None of my business. You
It's
troll.
literally
Yeah. I'm so happy. He could have done anything. Because at first I was like, will Benaiah punch this man in the face? Because it feels. But you know what? I feel like I'm the same way. Like, I might laugh at you before I. Ha ha ha. Get in the face.
Oh
And
my
that's
God.
what I like. That gives Gemini to me.
Yeah, it does. I mean, yeah, the more we talk about him, like Vinaya is giving big Gemini energy.
And I
Yeah,
love it. I love it. I defend Geminis. This is an air sign podcast. Act right in the comments.
period. These are two air signs right here who love
It's
Geminis.
yeah. I think Benaiah and Nicole are destined to get married. What do you think?
I think so too. They fit really well with each other. The meetings of their families went really well. They seem so genuine with each other and have such a genuine care and sweetness for each other. And, you know, it's like Benaiah is clearly very activated about the Sam thing, but it seems to be genuinely coming from a place where he like wants to care for and protect Nicole from like someone who seems like they do not have good intentions and like he witnessed this man in the men's quarters and didn't like him and you know is like wants to protect her and so I really like them as a couple.
One of my favorites. I compared them to Bliss and Zach, honestly, just because they seem like they get each other in a very
They
unique
do.
way.
They do. They do. They do. And the fact that, you know, she's like, when thinking about his nomadic lifestyle, it's not wanting him to stay put. Her
Mhm.
concern is about will he want to be in a very committed relationship,
Yes.
right? Which
Yes.
I think in the long term will work well because she seems to be someone who's like also curious about adventures and like, you know, so.
If these two just quit their jobs, become social media influencers, doing yoga retreats, I would sign up.
I might sign up too. I don't know. But
I would sign up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, either she can find a job where she works remotely or,
Mhm.
they just start their little outdoor lifestyle
Absolutely.
thing. They're great.
Let's go to these two. Two Geminis. I know. I did not know that, but they match each
Wow.
other's freak for
They
sure.
do. When he came out in that Speedo, she was like, "Oh my God." But she kind of liked it too.
You know what? And he looks good in it.
He does. He's
Now,
like, "I don't own a CrossFit gym for nothing."
absolutely not. And I love that the British people call them bungee jumpers, bungee something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's laughing. He's like, but he look good too. So you can't even like really clown him. So
Exactly.
now,
Exactly.
this couple, I mean, they were just smooth cruising in Greece. Afterwards, they meet the families. I knew Steven's brothers weren't gonna say boo.
Right.
Don't play with me. Don't play with me.
Oh
They're
gosh.
perfect together. So he got all them brothers, but they're like, that's crazy, but sure. And then Sabrina has a sister and a mom,
Mhm.
and they're in
And her
Belfast.
best friend,
Hmm.
sister, mom, and best friend. Yeah.
Correct. Now, they talked about how they're actually not going to be in a rush to move in together. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. It's giving Colleen and Matt.
But on the healthy
Yes, of
spectrum,
course. Just solely on that.
Yeah.
Just saying that there's a precedent for this.
Right.
And they're
Yeah.
still together. So and yeah, Stephen likes Belfast. Belfast is beautiful. I've been there.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, it's beautiful. So, but he's like, it's a slower pace. Like, we can do this, but
Right.
it's just, we're gonna do different vibes, different times. And then later on, this man don't care about no, I'm building up anticipation. I don't want to give a spoiler. Almost the last episode, he says, oh yeah, I'll be nervous until the vows, but then I'll kick off my shoes and dance.
He said, "You know what? I'm gonna marry this woman. And I know she's gonna marry me too. So whatever." Care about
Exactly.
y'all building cliffhangers. Ain't none of that over here. I'm marrying this woman right here.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if there'll be like the last wedding, because the last wedding's almost like always. After I just said that, I thought of Nicole and Benaiah. Nicole and
Yeah, I
Benaiah
was
has
like,
to be the last
they're the
wedding.
last wedding. It's giving
Yeah.
Zach and Bliss. I hope you dance.
Yeah. Oh, stop it. What was that wedding song? We never hear the wedding song. The only
Yeah,
reason why we heard that is because of his thing. So I have to get over
exactly.
it. Um,
Right.
but yeah. So yeah, they're just hot. They're just hot people, nice people. There's not much to talk about, and that's why I put them second.
Right. But I do love that they aren't immediately moving in together
Yeah.
and don't feel that pressure. I think
Mm.
that is so smart because they live in such different places. Like I think it's good to give themselves the opportunity to explore both places and see what in the long term might feel right.
Yeah. Now, Bobby's a Scorpio, Jasmine's a Libra.
Why is that not surprising?
It was surprising to me that Jasmine's a Libra, for sure. That was surprising. She has to have
Oh,
some fire in the other
oh yeah.
signs.
Yeah.
But I think she is very relationship focused, which does give Libra. It's just how she was raised and everything, how it now manifests is crazy. And then
Yeah.
Bobby's a Scorpio, which Scorpios are also lovers. And he doesn't be saying much. So
Which, I mean, I've dated a Scorpio before, and that makes sense to me.
the fact that he didn't say he had a music video, he was just like, I knew you would find it eventually. That was Scorpio energy.
Big Scorpio energy. I knew you'd find it eventually. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, first, before we get there, we're still in Greece. Jasmine's a busy bee, a
Mhm.
busy bee. And, uh, with that, that means she was very concerned about her good friend, Demi.
Mm-hmm.
So Jasmine, she's a girl's girl. She was very concerned about Demi and Nicole, I think, in the pods.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's still like this in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone notices that Demi is not acting like herself.
Yeah.
Much more low energy. Obviously, it was really awkward that Catherine pulled Ollie for a conversation. So
Yeah.
also Jasmine, she's drinking out of these gold goblets, these wine glasses.
Right. So we don't be knowing how much someone has had.
Okay. So she was drinking. She was talking to Bobby. Bobby's being a good friend. He's like, just letting you know, my girl is worried about your girl. Maybe. And then Jasmine's like, no. I can speak for myself. Okay.
Period.
And she was just like, Ollie, what's up? You should have, you know, pulled Bobby for a chat after that Catherine situation. You should have pulled Demi. Demi needs reassurance. Demi is insecure. She's piling. Now, I don't want to talk about Ollie's responses because I just want to note that how she acted in that scene, whoo, doesn't come right back around when we learn more
Mm-hmm.
about her
Mm-hmm.
background. Did
Yep.
you think about that?
I did. It started to make sense. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, because I mean, I really like that she was concerned for her friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we all need people in our lives who genuinely care about us and express concern.
Mm-hmm.
But her level of intervention in this case was like a bit because it's like, you know, Nicole was over there being like, oh, I hear everything you're saying, but I'm gonna still choose Sam. And she was very level-headed. And she's like, okay, you do you know, type
Mm-hmm.
vibe. But in this instance with Demi, she was like, no,
Mm-hmm.
Ollie, I need to talk to you real quick. And it's like, girl, calm down.
She couldn't stop the train. It was leaving the
Right.
station. But after that, her and Bobby are doing their face masks. They're super cute. They go back to London. Like we said, she finds Bobby's music video and she admits she's very insecure and she don't like that. He was just like, yeah, it was in the past. I don't she calls him an artist.
Right.
So maybe he will come out with new music. But if he does, ooh, Jasmine and her mama, they will is he not gonna allow to have any women in his music videos at all anymore?
Yeah, her reaction was a bit irrational to me because I was like, girl, first of all, you weren't even here yet. Like, what are you mad about right now? Like,
I don't
also, what are you about to say?
I don't think she was mad. I'll be fair to her that I don't think she was mad, but I think she was triggered. And I think she was like, just letting you know, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Whether it's rational or not, my past has been this. I've done this in the past. I don't like this.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of fair to Bobby because he's just like, okay, that's you. It's not like he did anything bad. And I think she made it clear
Right.
of like, you're an artist, but this is where I'm at because of my experiences.
Yeah. I guess I just wish she would have asked him more questions because maybe they're having conversations about this off camera, but he wasn't really talking about himself as like he
Mm-hmm.
mentioned rapping, right? But like, and did his little rap like speech to her, but like, it didn't, when he talked about his career, it didn't seem like he was mentioning he had goals around like being an artist, you know? So it was just like, girl, is he really about to be out here making a whole bunch of music videos, or is this just like the fear of your past situations running away with your
Yeah.
imagination?
I wish Bobby did say something because you know what? This show would be good to help
Promote.
bring. I mean, hell, she promoted it. Now people are absolutely looking for that music video, and
Exactly.
maybe that should be another video for us.
Oh my
Just
gosh, reacting to Bobby's music video.
yeah. But so that was all very interesting. Also, she made it clear before even she saw that she was like, I don't like social media. I don't like you being on your phone all the time. And Bobby actually said, hey, I've been very conscious of not being on my phone all the time. So he's trying.
Yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm.
He is. I
Yeah.
also think it's like hard when it's like I don't know the timing of when they're going back to work or whatever, but like when you're spending all day with someone and just observing them in a way where it's just like typically most of us have jobs or like have lives that pull us away from our romantic partner for hours a day, so I'm like, breathe. Like, he may check his phone, he may be on socials, but like check him when you need to, but also have faith that Bobby's a different person.
She can't do it because later on, first of all, she warns Bobby. And I'm glad she did. She was very honest about who her mother is. She knows that woman. She said she's going to say rude things and she's going to be tough. And she said her mom used to go through her phone and block boys. And when later on, or when she said that, I thought about how Jasmine said, I went through my ex's social media down to who they were following.
That's right. Oh, because I remember when she said that. I was like, when I say I don't be knowing
I don't
who my
care.
exes have followed, like what I do not care. We probably are liking the same IG baddies photos on Instagram for all I know.
I don't care.
I don't
But
know.
I was like, this is learned behavior.
Yeah.
And it's continued behavior. It's not like I was just raised like this. Her mama, when she later pops up, was like, I am her best friend. There might be secrets. She mentions secrets so much.
Yeah.
She's like, you might have some secrets, but I told her even when she was in school, you don't tell your secrets to your friends. You tell them to me.
I'm your friend.
This was so triggering to me.
Yeah.
It was very triggering to me. I was raised by a single mom. Like, they didn't talk about what those marriages were, but it was giving. Like, we've been through shit together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like something that really can bond. They feel trauma bonded.
They do. And I think something that I found alarming was she described Jasmine as her being like Jasmine's sister, as them being best friends. And it's like she started out by being like, yeah, when she was young, I told her, you don't tell your friends, you tell me I'm your best friend. And then later on says Jasmine is my best friend. And I'm like, this is your daughter.
She's so scared of losing her best friend. She is so scared of what this change could possibly be, thinking of the worst things and spilling it all out and being like, this has to be all of our problems now. And it's just like, ugh. And Jasmine is really trying. She kind of checks her mom, but it's like, this is going to be huge. This is huge. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but her mom also said something about Jasmine taking care of her.
No, I
and
didn't.
It does feel like Jasmine probably takes care of her emotionally.
If not financially too, because they mentioned she was in the Philippines.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I would not. I think it's so much more emotional because it very much felt like I am losing an emotional security blanket in some way.
Yeah.
And therefore I'm fearful. There was a lot of fear in those conversations and a lot of lashing out. Like, this woman, Bobby, first of all, we didn't even say Bobby opens the door to this woman. This woman stands there. Like, he has to invite her inside maybe twice or three times. Yes. I know you didn't fly yourself out from the Philippines just to not walk through this door, ma'am.
Just to stand here staring. Which I was like, is it the cameras? It's, because I'm like, she just got off a flight from the Philippines. She might be like, whoa, this is a lot,
They always have to set up. Like,
that's true.
never actually surprised on these reality shows. There's a
That's
call
true.
time
Right.
schedule.
There's
Like,
camera or like mic setup.
let's not do the most. And like I'm so, and like this is just me with my own experiences. We're recapping this and absolutely projecting my experiences on this. But I also, it was so interesting to see that kind of behavior
Mhm.
in the privacy of that bedroom, or not bedroom, privacy of that apartment. But then when we're dress shopping, she ain't got not one bad word to say about Bobby. And the whole, I need to make I'm so about appearances
Yeah.
and mixed company. I was like, because it
Mhm.
would have been another thing if you're like that all the time. But you kind of know what behavior you shouldn't actually be doing.
Exactly. Exactly. And it was at the dress shop when they said she came from the Philippines, it made me flash back to the conversation where I felt like Bobby flubbed here. I feel like he was trying to be honest and genuine about his plan, like him and
Mhm.
Jasmine's plans, but him being like, and we're thinking about going abroad one day. And I was like, don't say that to this lady. This
Oh
lady's already
yeah.
freaking out. She's going to
Oh
freak
yeah.
out even more. And then when we get to dress shopping and they're like, she came from the Philippines, I was like, now hold up. You're not even in the UK full time.
I know.
So
That
why
was
are you
wild.
freaking out that they might move somewhere when you don't even live here full time at the minimum? So what is this? Like
Wild.
control for
Wild.
the sake of control. Like what is
Wild.
this?
This this woman asked about his education, his job. He was like, "Yeah, I really couldn't concentrate, I think, in school, so
Yeah.
therefore I never went to uni." She was like, "Oh, uneducated." Like immediately labeled him.
Yeah.
Then said, "It's hard to communicate with uneducated people." I was like, "It's kind of hard to communicate with emotionally unintelligent people."
Right. It's like, what are you saying right now? Like, not you calling this man dumb because he doesn't have a university degree.
Also, I know that there's a lot of culture, because I know
Yeah.
also in a lot of communities overseas, they're a lot more blunt.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know if it's chicken or egg of like this is culture or this is like her.
I think it can be both, right? You can be
Yeah.
a part of a culture that fosters this type of dialogue, but also she has her own
Hmm.
stuff that's
Hmm.
manifesting clearly in this conversation. Because it also didn't feel like she genuinely was trying to get to know him. It felt
No.
like she was just trying to like shoot him down every chance that she got.
No, I think she was trying to scare him off. She's
Right.
like, please run for the hills.
Right.
Please.
Right.
Um, he, I think, did a good job at gray rocking
Mhm.
because he didn't give her anything. Now, gray rocking is you in a abusive situation, you become as boring as a rock. When
Mhm.
someone is poking, 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 you give them nothing and they're unsatisfied
Mhm.
and hopefully like it ends there. We're not feeding into the nonsense. And Bobby was doing so well grave rocking. Jasmine, I give her absolutely kudos for speaking up about how her mom was talking
Mhm.
to him. And it's like that's all you can hope for. I hope it gets better. I think it just takes time, especially I'm sure there's a lot of hurt that these two
Yeah.
women have been through and all they want is to protect women. I think that's goes back to Jasmine and how she was treating Ollie.
Yeah.
Even when he was giving, I think the honest and honestly correct answer that she would want, she couldn't hear it
Mm-mm.
because of the programming of men harm women
Yeah.
and men lie. So
Yep.
tell me the truth. tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. And then you're
Right.
shocked someone's snapping.
Right. Right. Yeah. And she's like, why are you getting snappy? And it's like, girl, you grilling this man right now. Like anybody would feel a type of way about the way that you're coming at them, regardless of what they've done beforehand, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did like that she tried to check her mom and be like, "No, we're gonna have to have boundaries. I'm not
Yes.
gonna tell you every single thing about my relationship with Bobby. If we get in an argument over the dishwasher, I'm not telling you that, you know? And like explicitly naming to her because I know you're going to bring it back up, right? Like,
Yes.
you
And
know,
you're gonna be, and you're not gonna like him, which is such a lesson for
yeah,
all of us that, like, even with our friends, like,
yeah,
maturing is not realizing you don't have to divulge everything in your relationship to all of
right,
your friends and family. If it's not actually that big of a deal,
right.
because all it does is make them color their whole perception of your partner that you absolutely want to make it work with.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Is there anything else we want to say about these two?
Nope. I mean, other than I think Jasmine's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And I mean, her and Bobby seem happy, you know, and I think made it through this like difficult conversation with her mother.
Yeah.
I think in a really a good place because he could have lost it, you know, instead of just like staying calm and being like, I'm gonna let that lady do what she do, and you know.
I think Bobby is actually a good fit because yeah, the gray rocking, he's a listener, which like I'm not very surprised because of Scorpios being they want the underbelly. Give me the dark stuff. I can deal with it. But also I have big emotions. I think that's the big thing is like we don't see Bobby opening a lot and I kind of wish he did. But I think this is like a good fit and they have a lot of hard work ahead of them. But as long as they like keep focused on their goal and loving each other, they'll be fine.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is a good transition to Ollie and Demi. Ollie's a Leo. Not
That
surprised.
makes absolute sense.
Yeah. Not surprised at all. And Demi's a Taurus.
Okay. Earth
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah.
Little fire and earth. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, going back to Greece.
Mhm.
They went through it in Greece for no reason because everybody was doing the most. But maybe you'll have a different perspective because I know I had one perspective first, and then I had to see how these ladies were acting not around Ollie. And then I was like, hold up. Let me rewatch how all these same women were interacting with Ollie in Greece. Because what?
Mm.
So, in Greece, basically they all meet up with the other couples. Catherine, Catherine makes it her mission to talk to Ollie. They were dating in pods. Now, apparently someone told Catherine, which I would like to know who, but someone told Catherine that Ollie went back to the men's quarters after their breakup conversation and said that he broke it off with her. And I'm telling you, this is where ego and pride makes you look stupid.
Yeah.
It makes you look real dumb because she just had to have everyone know. And like at first I was like, okay, maybe this is in defense of Demi because they're making all of these things, conflating all of them together, it felt. And it's like Ollie made it seem he broke it off with Catherine. But that's not true. And Demi's acting weird. Is he more into Catherine than Demi? And it's like, I think that was a projection, but what do you think?
I mean, I think it just was an amalgamation of just so many things happening at once, right? So Demi was very insecure, and the moment they got around the entire group, And, you know, I think she was bearing the weight of knowing what Catherine looked like and not being sure if Catherine was more his type than her, right? I think that was like in the back of her mind. So it was impacting the way that she showed up. And I do think it was like partly ego that Catherine's like, I need to set the record straight because who cares? At the end of the day, both of y'all chose someone else. So, you know, I'm like, it doesn't matter, but also I could see myself being like, I think it's a little weird that you went and told the men that you broke it off with me versus actually what happened, you know?
He had, here's the defense I think of Ollie is that he had intentions. And we hear this a lot. And sometimes most of the time, I think we don't believe these people when they're like, oh, yeah, that person broke up with me, but it was like mutual. I was going to do it anyway. The thing is, and I remember this because we mentioned it in the recap, is that Ollie said on his birthday he already knew what the decision was going to be. And after Demi like made all those gifts, he was just like, it only made it concrete that this is my decision. Catherine was like, and I didn't rewatch the scene, but I'm still remembering it. She interrupts him. She said, oh, I'm going to make it easier for you. I'm just going to end it now. Because I think she asked where your head's at. And he was kind of like,
waffling,
yeah. But she was like, I'm going to make it easier. I'm going to go. And it's just like, okay. He didn't even cry over you.
No.
It's not, yeah, he wasn't brokenhearted. He was ready to go. So who cares? And so Ollie in this situation, she's like, okay, so you told these people this. Ollie looks like genuinely confused and genuinely trying to think. And he's like, no. And then he's like, you know what? I'm not going to say whether I did or not because I don't know. All I know is that we were both going to dump each other and it happened. So
right.
What are we talking about? Catherine's so insecure, man.
Yeah.
So insecure because when I rewatched this, she tries to like talk about their appearances and everything, but then she tries to end the conversation and be like, okay, so don't chat shit about me. And here's my thing with the whole Jasmine and Catherine, they are so controlling. They can't, it's control to a highest degree because it's like, and what if he does?
Right. What does it matter?
What does it matter? Like, you're with Freddie and he's not worried about you. He was so not worried about you. And he was so over this cast that he was like, all I want is to go home and be with you because they're wilding.
Yes, and we have to be real that like I think he was reveling in the fact that she was looking at him. Like, you know, I'm like,
he's a Leo. Of course.
He's reveling in the fact, and he wasn't doing a good job of reassuring Demi. You know, and it's like, whether he wasn't aware of it or not, he just wasn't handling Demi with the care she needed in that moment because he was too caught up in his own mess around Catherine. And it's like, clearly he didn't like her that much. You know, I'm like, he wasn't really checking for Catherine. He was like, oh, she liked me. Every time I look over, she's looking at me. Oh, my homeboy see it too. And it's like, meanwhile, your fiance is over here trying to keep herself from spiraling. And you're like, and he says like, I just want to go home right now. And like, that can mean a myriad of things. And what he meant was like, I want to go home with you. But it's like, yo, boo is spiraling right now. And she just needs some validation. You're actually avoiding that conversation with her.
Okay. So here's the thing. So I like Ollie that he always is open to being wrong. He actually doesn't have that much ego for a Leo, which is, I love. So he says he could be wrong in the Catherine situation. And then when Jasmine's grilling him, she's just like, yeah, you needed to give, like you said, Catherine the reassurance. He's like, oh, I agree. Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. And then she also says, okay, but do you like her or not? And here's my thing. I watched this and I was like, he says that he gets her after she's talking about reassuring Demi. Demi, oh, okay. So he's repeating himself multiple times, which I thought that's when he was getting really upset with Jasmine, but it's not that. The triggering statement, I think, is that she asked, "Are you feeling Demi?" Because I think he puts his shades, maybe he puts his shades on before, but when she says, "Are you feeling Demi?" I feel like I saw his eyebrows be like, "What the hell did you just ask me?" Because he is feeling Demi. He's in this and he's like, "I know you did not." And honestly, I get it then of being like, F all y'all. Because that's a crazy question when you know you are really into this person and whatever criteria that they're trying to pull on whether or not you're feeling your partner, he's engaged to this person, is wild. But I'm also kind of fair in that this is the first season of the UK show, but they have watched the USA. The USA men have been so trash about looks and physical attraction. The fact that this actually has not been an issue for any of these couples. These couples are dealing with everything but that. But I think taking all that baggage and putting it into this, I think that's what they thought. They were like, "Oh, Ollie must not be into her."
And I think it seems like Jasmine and Demi are really close, and Jasmine probably knows on an intimate level Demi's insecurity around this, right? And so, I think it's that thing where she's really trying to protect Demi and really trying to be like, where's your head at? And I think pulling back and also recognizing that Demi's been awkward. They haven't had great chemistry as so many other couples around them are like kind of doing PDA. Because even Demi knows like Ollie doesn't really do PDA, right? So it's like Jasmine's not witnessing this man be affectionate with her friend. Then he go talk to Catherine. Then he pull her fiance for a car. So she's just like, where is your head at? And do you like my friend? Because to me, it does not look like it. And because he gets so activated, he can't even like be like, yes, I do like her. And then Demi needs reassured. Well, yeah, I think he does,
that's
right?
The problem. He says yes,
he
does
doesn't
believe him, and that's
the issue.
Also, Jasmine being like, "We can't trust men for what they say." Like,
Say,
I don't know what else. He said yes. Maybe she wanted some flowery. Oh my god! But you're not coming to him asking about his feelings. You're already putting him on the defense of, are you even feeling her? Do you like her? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, now you have a preconception, and it's very obvious you have a preconception of our dynamic, and it's bull.
Right.
And also, yes, Jasmine knows about Demi's insecurities, but Jasmine has admitted she's insecure her damn self.
She is.
So this is how she would talk to a man who wasn't feeling her.
Because she said it. She was like, sometimes you have to just, what she said, like, let a man know, or like tell him, it was like some type of like language like that of like essentially like putting a man in his place. And she made it clear to Bobby, like, oh, you try some shit like that on me, it ain't gonna be cute.
And that's the only person you need to worry about.
Literally. And he would never do something like that.
Yeah. He's like, I'm chilling. And honestly, and Bobby was good during that whole time. He let them two have their conversation. The minute Ollie raised his voice, he was like, okay, man, we're gonna de-escalate. Right. And I appreciate that on both sides. It's like, okay, both y'all wildin'. Right. And we're not gonna do that because we all actually all like each other. I wouldn't be surprised if they all hang out to this day. Hi, baddies. It's Nicole here. Unfortunately, we ran pretty long, but I'll say we got a decent amount of couples on this first part, okay? So if you want to see part 2, you can go ahead and check out the podcast feed if that's where you're listening. And if you're on YouTube where you can see all these slides, then it will be in the Love is Blind playlist. And I'll also have it linked at the end of the video. Please enjoy, and if you are enjoying, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks!